My Cosmology by Carole Louie. For those of you who do not know me, I have seen ghosts or spirits all my life, but I did not accept my gifts until I was in my 40s. Every step of my journey has guided me to where I am now. In writing the book, The Cosmology of Reincarnation and Rebirth, I pulled together my personal cosmology. 34 years ago, when I began consciously remembering past lives, some things happened that laid a foundation for my book. Several spontaneous memories. First, of oneness, which I will talk about a little bit later, and then a life between life experience of Anne Marie, the life just before this one. And thirdly, reincarnating twice in the same lifetime. And I'll discuss this more in the next session. These experiences showed me a bigger picture, a divine order. My experiences as a medium guided me in inexplicable ways, and intricate details of many lives gave me lots of information and an understanding of the reincarnation process, even when they conflicted with other teachings about reincarnation. I tested the principles and observed and applied them to situations in this and other lives before I could share them with others. In other words, what I have shared in my cosmology, I have lived and practiced. What I have not included in my chapter are more details about the process, about how what I do affects other lives and how their lives affect me, and about reincarnating twice in the same lifetime. My process has been slow. It taught me to be patient with myself and with all beings and their processes. It taught me not to judge anyone and that we all are on our unique journeys. I see all humanity evolving, although not at the same pace. Memories of lifetimes that showed me where to look for the information to include in my book guided me. I searched for verifiable information. For instance, memories started to flash across the screen of my mind in 1985 when I went to China and stood on the boardwalk over the digs in Banpo. I knew things about it that I was able to confirm later. I had an out-of-body experience where I flew across the excavation of Banpo. I wanted to dig near it, but was suddenly rattled out of the experience. I came out of it with a feeling of being folded like a pretzel. I discovered what I was looking for when I saw a documentary about Banpo and their tradition for burying the remains of their ancestors in large jars near their huts. I felt that I had been there. I remembered being a shaman who was able to see and communicate with beings in the non-physical world who guided me and my tribe. This is what led to animism and ancestral worship. I remembered being one of those who was called the storytellers, the ones who were charged to remember and tell intricate stories about the creation of the world, the history of the ancestors, and the teachings of the wise ones. The bottom line is both my memories and research were the realization that a belief in reincarnation is older than religions and philosophies. I trace the recorded history as well as prehistoric events that allude to the belief in reincarnation. The same process occurred when I turned my focus to the origin of what we call regression therapy. Even though beliefs go back much further than I first thought it would, it is apparent that both are evolving. 30 years ago, my interest was more in the therapeutic value of remembering past lives than in reincarnation research, because regression therapy helped me with post-traumatic stress disorder more than traditional psychotherapy did. So I focused on healing. In the last 30 years, there have been leaps in beliefs about reincarnation, and in part because of new cases of the reincarnation type in the West and the evolution of regression therapy. The internet has played a part in expediting the understanding of reincarnation for those of us who are called to observe the evolution of reincarnation belief. Regression therapy has helped us step off the karmic wheel and embrace our life's journey. It has helped me personally develop my cosmology of reincarnation. So I want to share the 12 principles that I define as how reincarnation works. Principle number 1, everyone is creating their own cosmology. There are some similarities between individual cosmologies. As I studied many cultural beliefs and individual beliefs, I realized that we are all creating our own, and that is the way it is meant to be. Therefore, even though I have discerned what my cosmology is, I do not expect anyone to accept them for themselves. Instead, I hope each person will take what resonates with them and allow whatever does not to guide them to their truth. I believe each of us is on a DIS, a directed individual study, or a DIY in today's vernacular. We each have unique relationships with the source. Principle number 2, oneness, source, Tao, all that is, the state of being one with the universe. We individuate out of oneness, creating an oversoul, which begins the process of incarnating. Each incarnation is connected to the oversoul and to one another via a stream of consciousness, and yet each maintains autonomy over itself. I feel blessed to have the experience of oneness, not just once, but several times, during deep meditation and during journeying. Some of you have been blessed to experience oneness. Although it is a challenge to find words to describe the experience, the feeling of unconditional love was beyond any concept of love I had ever known. I experienced floating in a sea of white light, but I noticed that the light had no shadow. I sensed that I was one with everything. In one of the experiences, I sensed the moment that I individuated out of oneness, creating an oversoul. And then I knew that all my incarnations emanated from my oversoul, and it was the overseer of my many incarnations, which are streams of consciousness. I am blown away how experiencing oneness can happen in many ways: NDEs, near-death experiences, psychedelics, regressions, meditation, shamanic journeying, and mystical experiences. Recently, I was a subject of a quantum consciousness experience, and I was given a visual analogy of what it is like to move out of oneness to begin the journey into the physical world. It's like the picture on the right. This is a blown up photograph of a single cell. It looks like a piece of art. And for me, it's symbolic of that moment. Principle number 3, individuating out of oneness is our choice. We choose to experience variety in the physical world of sensations and emotions. I experience the power of choosing to individuate from oneness, to have a variety of experiences, because I could. It is a choice to experience free will as an opportunity to experience the physical world, sensations, and emotions. It is also an opportunity to experience the non-physical world as another aspect of the earth experience. Principle number 4, our lives have a purpose. Our common mission is to be an expression of the energy of Source in the earth experience, to embody unconditional love. It is our destiny to remember we come from oneness. We are an expression of the energy of Source in the physical experience, and yet it is our free will to choose when and how to do so. Principle 5, Earth is a physical and non-physical experience, and there are helpers in the non-physical world and the physical world who guide, heal, educate, and hold the energy of love for us. Just as we go through stages of life in the physical world, birth, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, elderhood, and death, there are stages in the non-physical world, and there are helpers in all of our stages. The guides sense when a person is ready to move into another stage. Principle number 6, there is no judgment, although accountability for one's actions carries over from the physical world to the non-physical world and back again. I was moved by my life between life experience just before this lifetime, because I saw unconditional love at work rather than judgment. When I remembered Anne Marie, the Jewish girl who was killed violently by a Nazi, I was stunned by what happened after her spirit left her body. She floated above the scene and felt such compassion for the man who killed her, knowing what he would eventually experience because of his deeds. Principle number 7, as we integrate our true essence, there is a higher purpose to express our essence and to share. Once we accept our true essence that emanates from Source, and we integrate this energy in our physical world, we realize that we are meant to share our experiences with everyone and everything, because another aspect of our purpose on earth is about relationship with others. with all creatures and with the world. How we express our true essence is up to us. Principle 8. Reincarnation is an open-ended system that evolves as we do. I recognize that we have evolved beyond traditional beliefs about reincarnation, just as the telescope gave Copernicus a different worldview. The James Webb Space Telescope is giving us a clearer picture of the universe than we once knew. And the current day research about reincarnation is now giving us a broader view. Principle number 9. Each incarnated being carries a collection of imprints of aspects orchestrated by one's oversoul. Each entity carries these imprints, lessons designed to develop the entity's ability to manifest his or her purpose. Multiple incarnations may carry like energies, entangled shared aspects, but each entity is only responsible for his or her own actions. Principle number 10. There are patterns in the reincarnation process. Forgetting, the veil of separation exists between entities and the oversoul, like the veil between consciousness and subconsciousness. As one remembers his or her connection to Source, the veil becomes thinner. Themes, with variations on the theme. Before we incarnate, we choose topics to experience as lessons and also skills. Bonding both positively and negatively. Soul groups. Entities in the non-physical world choose to experience incarnating together. Sometimes we agree to play adversarial or antagonistic roles with our soul group members. Sometimes we agree to work together to help each other. How we interact with others creates a chain reaction, a karmic snowball of energy. Triggers. We might feel triggered by our soul group members, both positively and negatively. Other things or events can trigger memories of other lives. A smell, a sound, touching something, seeing an object or a movie, or reading a book about a particular topic can trigger an emotional or visceral response. For instance, the first time I smelled Tiger Balm, 35 years after a traumatic incident, flashbacks of that incident flooded my mind. Touching silk cloth felt familiar to me, but enclosed staircases stirred fear. And the movie, The Joy Luck Club, affected me so much that my friends had to carry me out of the theater. Balancing of energies or karma. Karma, the law of cause and effect, is about balancing energy. It is not about revenge or retribution. It is both our free will choice and destiny to balance our positive and negative karma, to embody unconditional love and creativity in the physical world. How we express unconditional love and creativity is our gift to the universe. And as we pay attention to the nudges and synchronicities, as we observe our reactions to the triggers, and even bring awareness to the memories of other lives, we open ourselves to grace and divine intervention. Principle number 11, time is a construct. Measuring time in the physical world is not an exact science and has been a challenge throughout the ages. The lunar month is not 28 days, but 28.3 days. The solar year, 365.2425 days, as defined in the Gregorian calendar, has to be adjusted with leap years and leap seconds. Time is one of several mental constructs. Those anomalies in physical time are portals to the non-physical world and its constructs. Principle number 12. Consciousness is the portal across the time-space continuum. The system of reincarnation is mind-blowing when you consider all the above. When we understand how it works, we can collaborate with it to clear old karma and to embrace our role as a co-creator. Meditation and regression therapy have expanded my conscious awareness. This guided me to know that consciousness is the portal across time and space. I believe we are evolving our conscious awareness, and as we do so, our species is evolving. Will we discover we are descendants from or progenitors of other worlds? And what will become of those who do not choose to evolve, to expand their consciousness? Will they become extinct like Neanderthal? I hope my cosmology will inspire your memories of Source, of unconditional love, and your mission on Earth. And now it's time to think about your cosmology. Think about these principles that I've shared with you. Think about which ones resonate with you and which ones do not. And to give you a prompt, here is a quote from Joel Witten and Joe Fisher, authors of Life Between Life. One fundamental aspect the privileged few who have visited the interlife receive is the same unrelenting message. We are thoroughly responsible for who we are and the circumstances in which we find ourselves. We are the ones who do the choosing. So take a moment now to think about, what does knowing you choose your circumstances mean to you? To wrap up, these are my final tips and takeaways. Pay attention. The universe is giving you clues, and every experience is teaching you about love, unconditional love.